I had my stroke like 3 years ago, paralyzed from the waist, from half of my body.
I know what was going on, but talking is tough.
So aphasia is a communication disorder, usually due to stroke. And specifically, it's a problem processing language. So people with aphasia will have some difficulty. Sometimes aphasia can be mild, sometimes it can be more severe. Have difficulty doing anything that requires the use of language. So that means speaking, understanding the speech of others, reading, writing.
My husband's a speech pathologist, and I've been a librarian for several years now. We've always worked separately from each other. This occurred to my husband as one way of us combining our skill sets, but also he had an ongoing interest in aphasia. He always worked with adults and encountered this problem quite often, and really wanted to help these people. He could see how isolating it was, how devastating it was for people.
There's probably about 25 to 35,000 people in LA County with aphasia. There's essentially no support for those individuals after they're discharged from the hospital and their rehab. You know, when you have a communication problem, it's hard to advocate for yourself. So I think that's one reason why we don't see more services for people with aphasia.
I had an aneurysm about 5 years ago, and at that time I was having a lot of problems with my speech, and I wanted something that would help me improve, but also do something that I like to do, and try to read books that I would want to read instead of having to read like children's book that I can do at that time.
So first and foremost, I wanted a place where people could just interact and be comfortable with each other. But also I wanted something that would appeal to their intellects as adults. These are people who used to be able to have really deep conversations. There's no reason why they can't now.
Aphasia Book Club is my godsend. Book club for me is the story I never read because I had never been to a book club. But I love it. I love it. Every book is its own interpretation. I see what you would not see. You'll see pieces of what I see, and that's amazing. The book club is helping me get to my life.
You know, as a librarian, it is part of my mission to make this information accessible to as many people as possible. And even though, yes, it is free, anybody can come into the library, anybody can use our databases, that's useless for somebody who can't process language very easily. So I felt like this was a way to actually serve an underserved population. I would say that this, professionally speaking, this aphasia group, this is the best thing I've ever done.